Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, once again to another ZASGcast. I, of course, am your host, ZASG, and today we're going to be checking out the continuation of the best of three that we started the other day between Sly and AI Imperial. Of course, last game, Imperial pulled out the first victory of the game of three with some very nice Sonic Storm, pinning back his opponent to a second base and taking out the third. Very, very nicely done. So he comes in with a bit of an advantage in this game, and we will have to wait and see what the outcome is, whether we'll have a third game to cast in this series, whether Sly can make a bit of a comeback and maybe pull out 2-1, or whether Imperial will take a second win and just go 2-0 in this Zotac Cup. So let's get stuck into it. We have, of course, the green Sly, Terran player himself, spawning in the northern base of a two-player map. This, of course, is Daybreak, the GSL version. And in the southern quadrant, we have Imperial, the Protoss player, the lovely lavender colour, I guess you would call it. Maybe pink, depending, I guess, what you want to call it. It's a bit of a mixy colour, really. Both players, of course. Last match we saw a very standard sort of a match, not a lot of early aggression. Both of them just content to macro up and play a very standard sort of build. Will we possibly see Sly to do something a little bit abstract, a little bit different, maybe some early aggression to try and pull out a big victory? We'll have to wait and see. Sending one SCV out to scout while he uses the other one to begin his wall off, while we see Imperial sending his first probe out to scout after his first pylon, of course. Will we possibly see a proxy barracks from Sly? I'm not sure. I don't imagine he'll want to try anything too crazy, as he is one down in the series already. So he will have to be reasonably safe, and Imperial getting in and seeing his base fully. Sly's deciding to build his barracks inside. He's not going to go for the direct wall off. Isn't necessarily a requirement. He's trying to get the quick kill off on the SCV with his probe, but no, Sly very smartly sends a SCV over just to fight it off. You don't want any silly business like that. It's not helpful. It's a pretty big advantage if you kill the enemy's scouting probe, especially against a Protoss player, as you can use it to build proxy pylons, and that is something you do not. Now notice Sly's building this, leaving this little SCV poking over here. I'm not sure what he's planning on doing, but he's sending a second one over as well. So maybe we're going to see some early Hellion aggression with a proxy factory over there. And he's coming back with his probe to try and get on that SCV, but there was actually a second SCV hiding there that we couldn't see. And barracks starting to come down now as we see Imperial beginning his cybernetics core and two gases. So a very similar opening as to last time from Imperial. Nothing out of the ordinary. We do have a little bit earlier of a gas than last time, I think, from Sly. And he's going into a tech lab, same as last time, so we may see him Reva. And yeah, there's a proxy Rex coming down. We may see something a little bit different from Sly. He's going to throw it up. He is one down, so he does have to do something different from last game after he lost, obviously. So let's wait and see what happens. And Sly beginning a early Marauder instead of a Reaper this game, and going straight for concussive shells. So we're going to see some very early aggression from Sly, who's also got the second barracks up here. Try and force an early win and even out this game. Imperial, he has no idea at this stage that this second barracks is here. All he knows is there was one barracks being built. The Marine, very smart use by Sly to keep his Marine around this sort of area, hold the watchtower, and to stop any probe scouting. To stop a probe getting back and seeing what's going on in the base. Of course, second tech lab coming down, and Marauders in production from both sides, being rallied over to the main base. Imperial doing very same build as last time. It worked last time, why not do the same thing? Hasn't got a whole lot of units at the moment, so unless he scouts that proxy barracks, he could be in quite a bit of trouble. Last game, no pressure came early on, so if he's thinking Sly's doing the same thing, he could end up in quite a bit of trouble. Fortunately for Imperial, he has decided to get a quick couple of extra gateways just in case, and down coming a robotics facility However, Marauders are just so good against this early Stalker Sentry force. And is he going to be able to force a cancel here from Imperial? Sly putting a lot of pressure, and Imperial's actually blocked his own ramp up to stop him doing anything. There's not a lot he can do against this force. 4 Marauders are just going to eat that alive, and I think he's probably going to get... And there it is, he gets the cancel off. That's a huge victory for Sly. That gives him a big advantage. Pulls him right back into this game very strongly. It leaves him in a good position. He's decided to wait for probably a few more Marauders to come in. The next 2 are coming in, so he's going to gather those together and try and put some pressure on. He's going to probably try and go for the victory. Concussive shots is finished. Imperial just trying to get out as many gateway units as possible. He's got warp gate technology up, and he's going to start production on Immortals, which is so good against Marauders. Is Sly going to keep the pressure up? No, he doesn't look like he's keen to. He's just going to take the small victories that he's gained and then take a second to recuperate. Get a few more units in, play it safe, aggressive, but just reasonably safe. There's no point to go absolutely ballistic. And here comes the second attempt now with a lot more Marauders. That's a scary looking force for any Protoss player. These Zealots cannot do a lot. If they can get in close, they do a lot of damage to Marauders. But the problem is, with concussive shot, they're being slowed down constantly and they can barely get in range. Imperial, of course, now has his first Immortal up, which is extremely good against Marauders. And they're beginning to push out. We see Stim almost finished for Sly, so that's going to give him a huge leg up if he can get that finished before he engages this force. Marine running for his life. Run away, little Marine! And of course, at the same time, what do we have? We have to use this proxy barracks. I think it's a good idea. Rather than just send it straight home, let's use it to do some scouting. And we see Sly beginning to... He's expanding. His command center's almost finished, which he's morphing into an orbital command. And in comes Imperial for some aggression. I think he could be in good shape. He's got enough Zealots to try and get them in close. It's going to depend if Sly's able to micro his Marauders well enough. He does have one bunker and a second one coming up, so he's in good shape to try and defend this, but with this proxy pylon it's going to be very, very difficult. Third bunker coming up as well, so Sly senses this aggression coming in, and this could be very difficult. Very nice force fields coming in, splitting their army up and splitting his Marauders in 2, and Imperial has just decimated his Marauder numbers. Oh, and more beautiful force fields, just stopping all of his Marauders doing basically anything, pinning them up against the wall and allowing him to just decimate his army, and that will be GG. And there's Sly showing the frustration of losing to Protoss. Protoss really is a joke, but apparently it's true, Sly says. I'm not quite sure if I totally agree with him, or I'm not quite sure if all the other Terran people would agree with him, but that was just beautiful micro work from Imperial, landing some fantastic force fields to split that army in 2 basically. Anyone who gets caught in that situation is going to get hurt pretty bad, and I imagine we'll see the GG or the leave like last game in a second here, as Imperial just cleans up this force. This has been after an early aggression forcing the cancel. I thought it may have been a bit of a comeback from Sly, but Imperial just walked over the top of Sly in there in a beautiful force field placement. And GG, Imperial takes out Sly 2-0. After last match, I was thinking we might see something a little bit longer than this actually. We're 26 minutes last match, and this is only 10:43, but that's the way the cookie crumbles. That's the way StarCraft goes. And I guess GG's to Imperial, and we'll see you guys in a few weeks. Well, not a few weeks, a few days, hopefully. If it's a few weeks, I'm going to be a bit worried. And we'll try and get some... hopefully some top players, some of the amateurs to cast, which would be good. Either way, follow me at zasg. It's in the comment below on Twitter for updates of when the next one's coming out. And also subscribe, like, comment, all that sort of jazz in the bottom of the video if you tell me what you think. And that would be really great. Thanks very much. Have a great week.